Well, howdy. Do you want to learn how to do a do-it-yourself AeroGarden seed pod? I came across a method that works really well. You don't even need this. What you do is I use root riots. These are sponge plugs for starting seeds. And here you can see a pepper plant. This is a clone that I put in, and you can see it's rooted quite well. I'm going to transplant it and give it to a friend, but the thing that I wanted to show you is that these will fit right into your AeroGarden holes perfectly, and you don't even need the basket, and there's a hole in them, so you can drop your seeds right in the hole. And anyhow, I have been using this AeroGarden for quite a while now, and I've got some pepper plants going in here, and they look pretty good. But out of this batch of pepper plants, I have the purple super hot ones, and I have a couple of the jalapenos, but my red Thai peppers did not germinate, and I went through all three plugs, and I still did not get a single one to come up. And I think that's part of the problem with these pods. When they seed them, at least the ones that I saw, it looked like the seeds were right on the top, and so some of them germinated, but they couldn't get their roots down into the sponge. I really recommend you using these root riots. You can get a bag of these on Amazon. You can get 50 of these for about 20 bucks. You can buy 100 for 30 bucks, and they'll last you a really long time. You can see they work really good for clones, and they work really good for seeds. You don't need those plastic seed domes. One of the first things I learned years ago was that you never put a dome over seedlings, because it causes them to, or it doesn't necessarily cause them, it can make them susceptible to damping off. If you've ever started seedlings and you've seen that all of a sudden they fall over and it kind of looks like somebody pinched the stem, that's damping off. And the reason you get it is because a dome cuts off airflow. These things stay so wet that there is no reason for a dome to conserve moisture. You just don't really need it. Using the plug, it totally fills the hole. And you know, one of the things about this, like if you're, I have this one as an AeroGarden Harvest, there's 6 spots. I can't keep 6 pepper plants in here. They just would be, it would be too much. But you need to be able to fill the holes you're not using, because you don't want light to get down into your reservoir. So these work great for that. Before we get too far along, this is a root riot on the left and a rapid rooter on the right. It's another popular brand, but the root riots work better. They're a little bit larger, and you can get either one will probably work, but I noticed that the rapid rooter, you have to push it almost all the way down, and it's not quite big enough to totally cover the whole opening, so I'd really recommend the Root Riots. But I want to show you how to use this with one of these, and it's really pretty simple. So what you can do, if you want to use this basket, you can take one of these and you can cut it. I have a pair of snips here. What I'm going to do with this, I'm not going to cut it exactly in half, but I am going to cut it at about a 45-degree angle. I want to get a little bit off the top. Okay, so now I have kind of a wedge, and can cut this a bit. Stick it in there so it goes down to the bottom, and then this piece here, we'll round it out a little bit, make it a little bit smaller, and it should fit in there pretty close. Okay, it needs more. We'll cut some more off the top, trim it down a little bit. And it's in there. Now if you want, you can put your seed in there, and you can put your dome on it if you want. It doesn't have to be exactly filled, because the water is going to wick up through this sponge. So if you want to use the whole deal, you can do that. You can do that, and you can put one of your domes on it if you want. But honestly, instead of going to all that hassle, I really just suggest you use the Root Riots as they are. You don't need the cover, but you could put the cover on these, you know, and then take it off as soon as the seeds germinate. I mean, you know, the thing about the AeroGarden, it's a great unit. I really like mine. Works really well. But it's designed to make the company money, and how they do that is by selling you these expensive seed pods. And if you do your own, you'll save some money, but also you can choose what seeds you want to grow. You're not limited to just, you know, the pods that they sell you. You know, I know if I'd have had those Thai pepper seeds and I had done it like this, I would have plants, and I got 0 out of 3 pods with them. So this is a fast, easy way to use your AeroGarden with the Root Riots. So you've got a seed pod, do it yourself, and I hope this helps you. But I like the idea of just being able to take a plug, fitting it in the hole, and, you know, put your seed in it. And if you want to put a top on it, put a top on it, but you don't need it. Really, I've watched this for a while, and those pods get so wet from being in the reservoir that there is no way that seedling is ever going to have a chance to dry out, you know, unless for some reason it doesn't germinate, which can happen. I mean, that's the other thing. You don't know how old the seeds are in the pods they're selling. And you could get an old batch off the shelf, and or one that was made with, you know, seeds with a low germination rate. And that's really what I think happened to me, is that those Thai peppers that they used didn't have a high germination rate. And so I don't have any red Thai peppers in this grow. But I've got jalapenos, and I've got the purple red hots, and this is, like, as I said, also a good way, because in a AeroGarden harvest like this, you probably wouldn't want to keep more than 4 plants. 2 would probably actually be better, but you need a way to plug those other holes, and you don't want to have to buy baskets, you know, like blank baskets to fill them. Just stick one of these Root Riots in the empty hole. Alright, hope this video helped you. Take good care of yourself. Happy gardening. and keep it green. All right, bye-bye.